Oh yeah. We're recording. This chair's a bit loud. Fuck, I can't move. I'm gonna be able to move it all the time. Kind of jealous of your coffee.
You just had one.
I know, I'm fired up.
Have a coffee.
Yeah, I'm fucking fired up. I can barely sit still, which is a problem in a chair that's just fucking squeaking.
Yeah.
How was your swim?
Oh, it was excellent.
Where are you swimming now?
I swim down at the Vancouver Aquatic Center, which is really nice, but there's definitely some lane politic issues when you go there because it's a drop-in feel. And, you got your slow lane, your medium lane, and your fast lane. But really, there aren't 3 speeds of swimmers, There's really slow, like not even moving, like the old person who kind of floats. There's your average slow, then there's medium, and then there's average medium, and then there's fast, and then there's super fast. So it's pretty hard when you're in a lane with other people to get like a nice flow going. Is this exciting you?
Flojo. Remember Flojo?
Yeah, it's hard to get a good Flojo going.
What was there? Flojo. Florence Jackson or something. She was a runner, sprinter. She always had really nice... she had... her nails were always done real nice and stuff. I actually just went past a barbecue place. Like on Broadway, they have all the...
Memphis Blues?
No, they have all... No, the Asian, more
that
the
place
Asian.
Is pretty sleazy. I wonder how they're doing during the pandemic.
I actually am surprised you.
A lot of people sitting inside and sweating and eating meat with their hands.
The Priscilla, that's what the Priscilla is. The full meal deal. That's like fucking all of everything. Like
I thought it was called the blues platter or something.
What would be on a blues platter?
It's a little bit everything.
It's got a fish fry. It's
got a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. No, the place on Broadway was called Feel City Barbecue. It was like, an Asian barbecue place. It's they're all above the shops. Because Asian people don't mind going up a floor to get
kind of buzz in.
Yeah, it's called Feel City.
Cool.
Which I think is a great name for
an album
or a podcast. Which is where we're at now.
We still need a name, don't we?
Feel City. But considering that really the premise is that we'll be talking mostly about classic rock records with minimal research, just based on memory, as music lovers and aficionados of the classic rock genre and all those genres that kind of melee within its domain.
But I thought this was just a ploy to get all the music people to come listen to it, and then we're still just going to talk about like O.J. Simpson like rushing records and how that turned him into like a serial killer.
I hope so. I was looking at James Woods' Twitter earlier. He has 2.6 million followers, and
of course
he's a Hollywood Republican. Like that's why he's a famous Hollywood Republican, and it's like really funny because it's like the official James Woods Twitter, and he said, let me pull it up here because it's
Hollywood Republicans would be a good name for a podcast too, but it would be very serious.
Well, since we're talking about rumors, I was thinking, do you think that Stevie Nicks is a Hollywood Republican? Because she's such a soccer mom.
Yeah, but I don't think that equates. She was friends with Petty and stuff.
I think that shit makes me laugh so much, though. How he was like, she tried to join the Heartbreakers, and he was just like, "No girls allowed." This is a boys' club.
80s sleaze.
It's so funny in the documentary and Running Down a Dream when they're talking about that, and she's on it. She must have let down so many women and girls who like were so into her vibe and her brand. She completely invented a brand of like a really good vibe of like the kind of witchy aesthetic and wearing lace. It's like a proto Kate Bush
crystals.
Took it on. Crystal Vision. Yeah, exactly. Storms, the kind of a relationship, blood and soil, and the moon and all that. And she was like, it's basically one of only like 2 or 3 options you have as a female artist. Is like the Stevie Nicks one is one of them, and lots of people do it.
Yeah.
And now she's just like a soccer mom.
Well, cocaine is a powerful drug.
Exactly. James Woods' thing here. Look at this. This is the only verified Twitter account for James Woods. All others are fake, and I am on no other social media except for my private Instagram. They're all fake. Fake news.
I was like,
that's what he wrote.
I was reading about James Woods, like after the debate, he got into all kinds of like conspiracy theory stuff about like how, I don't know, Biden was wearing a wire, or he was getting fed information. It was like diagrams talking about it and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this would be good laugh to go follow James Woods on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, he's got a private account.
Yeah, but
I didn't know if I wanted to click follow. I didn't know what kind
there's
of...
no way he's going to let you.
No,
it's only for him, Christian Bale, O.J. Simpson.
You look at my account, and
Mike
like,
Gundy,
hippie piece of shit.
Hippie piece of shit.
Yeah,
he plays himself
job.
in the movies that he's in.
Yeah, Casino.
Yeah, it's like literally just playing James Woods in Casino.
Like a kind of a hustler.
Yeah, kind of a hustler. It's a shame we lost all those people, but I guess it was the mistake being that we assume that the Hollywood left is a real thing. Or like it's a real thing, but there are, of course, room for people like Kelsey Grammer, famous Hollywood Republican, to exist at the same time. Even reading through Crosby's Twitter sometimes,
Well, let's face it kind of goes hand in hand with having a lot of money.
I think
sometimes
so.
People want to hold on to their cash.
They do.
So they get swayed politically. Also, maybe they've dabbled in the Church of Scientology, and then the Republican Party's looking pretty good once you get sucked into that vortex. You know what I mean?
This is the first time we've used this Zoom thing. It's possible that just none of this is being recorded. It's possible.
Well, it doesn't matter. This is all we do. We wouldn't be doing anything different whether we had microphones or not right now.
Such a nice day. I just went for a run.
So basically, we haven't done a podcast in the past, I don't know how many months, because you and I have just been working out constantly.
100%.
Yeah.
So I've been on a fitness journey.
You can't see us right now, but the transformation would blow everyone away who's a fan of the show.
It's like that fat couple who got married and like they've been like on a weight loss journey and they're really famous on the internet.
It's like a montage in a Denzel Washington boxing movie. Basically, the past 6 months, just chin-ups, push-ups, running.
Or
music.
like I actually like to think that it's more the montage Richard Gere in American Gigolo when he's working out and choosing his suit to wear.
What about when Christian Bale in Dark Knight Rises and is in like that pit because Bane breaks his back?
Yeah, that's good.
And then he's got to like build his body back up.
It's kind of similar to what we've been doing over the last few months, for sure. I mean,
I watched Dark Knight Rises the other day because I went and saw Tenet.
Is that the one where he goes up to Nepal and stuff?
I don't fucking know.
No, in the Dark Knight Rises.
No. That's the first one, Batman Begins.
Okay.
No, because I
what
saw
a
Tenet.
fucking crock of shit that movie is.
I saw Tenet, speaking of crock of shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, so the next night, I was kind of drunk going to sleep. And you're kind of like, well, I need something easy. It's 1 a.m. I can't take anything too cerebral. I'm like, Dark Knight Rises, I haven't seen that one in a while. Like those ones are good Christopher Nolan movies,
Yeah.
Put it on. It was horrible.
Yeah. I can't remember a movie I like. I saw Unstoppable the other day. I like that.
That's good.
Tony Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe his last movie before he didn't come out and then just jumped off a bridge.
Well, let's face it. I can enjoy pretty much any Denzel Washington movie. I'll enjoy it.
The main question it raised to me, it's Chris Pine, right? It's just maybe he has acting firepower, and I never really took it seriously.
Well, he hadn't broke out yet. That happened in Star Trek.
And I'm wondering whether it, like that, his performance in Unstoppable as the kind of like the son of the corporate, pigs or whatever from Stanton. I think that's where Biden's from, Stanton, or Delaware, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I wonder if that Chris Pine role was a precursor to him having acting firepower.
Well, it's quite possible that like the likes of Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer sort of helped raise him into that kind of a man. Like he seems, I think he was kind of.
Is it even Simpson's gone? It's dead by then. Don Simpson's dead by.
He died. He died like he had enough drugs in his system to die about 20 times.
Yeah, but he was.
Do you know that he died? That he had such a bad problem with drugs that he hired this doctor to get him off drugs. The classic thing.
Yeah.
And the doctor, to get him off of the cocaine, gave him like a bunch of pills, like opioids, to get him off of the coke. And then the funny thing is that the doctor who tried to do this was found dead in Don Simpson's pool house. OD'd. This is the sleaziest Hollywood story. And then Don Simpson OD'd shortly after.
He had
so
a
they were
penchant
just
for
partying.
smacking hookers' faces against a toilet bowl, too, famously. That's what he liked to do.
It's disgusting.
It sounds like a Steely Dan song.
So what about Rumours? We're supposed to talk about Rumours?
Yeah, I listened to it. I'm fired up to talk about it. It was funny, actually. It brought back some strange memories for me because I was listening to... At first, I thought that the song that reminded me of this was Secondhand News, but it was actually like Never Going Back. The kind of acoustic jamboree.
Never Going Back Again.
Kind of a pirate feel.
Yeah.
Kind of a... strange. Like, I noticed that with Christine McVie's role, actually, too. She kind of has a banshee, like a whispering banshee kind of siren on the shore energy on some of the songs that she doesn't sing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Secondhand News, man. I'll tell you something right now.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think of it. Throw that on at a dance party.
Interesting.
Gets people hyped. Because everybody loves Rumours.
Yeah.
And it's just an upbeat kind of,
We were saying this about Thriller the other day. It's like, can you imagine, like, because of the way we perceive music, and the way we listen to music, it's like my David Byrne bit here or something, but like putting on Rumours in 77, and so there's no way you've heard any of it prior to owning the record. Maybe like I don't think they would release singles before the record or anything. I think you just like the record.
No, there were singles.
Prior to the record coming out.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about prior.
I know there was single. I know the singles off that record. But prior to the record coming out, like I think the record was the the record was the message.
Yeah. Apparently, it had the most ever pre-orders of Warner Brothers history. 800,000 LPs were pre-ordered by record stores.
Yeah. But you think about putting it on. Is listening to it again. Obviously, like. I remember the first time I listened to it, I was into other record. I didn't know that it was so uncool.
Yeah, it was really
so uncool to be into. And there was these two girls who were friends. I was probably 18. Two friends of friends, and I lived with some of my buddies in England, in Manchester, and they would come over. They were sisters. And they brought it over. And I remember my friend Paul being like, have you listened to Rumours by Fleetwood Mac? Just kind of like, nah. Of course not. Like, no, I'm into Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's lame.
And it's unreal now to think about that. And like, we listened to Deja Vu the other night, too, you and I. And like, to listen to Rumours and just like, it's so much better.
Oh yeah.
And they're not doing any less drugs. Like,
no,
if
more,
anything,
maybe more. Yeah.
And it's funny though how sometimes like there's a certain thing that's funny in music that sometimes like drugs, cocaine in particular, it seems like, it can completely send people off the wall and the result is horrible. But sometimes in show business, like it works and it's just like, it's like the John Hughes thing or something. And you just like create this, and Rumours is like that. Like it's just, it somehow all the decisions, all the sounds, the arrangements, the vocals, the writing, it all clicks magically. And they were like completely off their faces, messed up all the time. So, so they say.
It reminded me of this girl, one of these sisters, who used to sing Never Going Back Again. Like, her and her sister used to harmonize it in my house. Even though there's no real I guess it's just like they used to just sing it. And it made me remember that, like, once I was at work, I was like 18, I worked in a bar, and she came into it was like 1 a.m. or something. Maybe I was closing up this bar, and she walked in to the place. I'd not seen her. I'd never really seen her in that environment before. It was always with friends, and she came into the bar I was working in and was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" She's like, I'm scared. Just had a weird night. Like, I thought I'd just come down here, like, because I knew you were working. I was just, like, having a weird night. It was, like, in this bar and some guy or, something like that. So, yeah, no problem. And she asked me, like, I was like, well, just sit around. She's like, can I come back? Can I come back with you on the bus? I was like, yeah, of course. And then we ended up going back to my house. And I realize now, only now, that she was seducing me. I never thought about it at the time because I was so young and naive. And I remember we ended up in bed, and I remember thinking, like, this is crazy. What a crazy night. What, like, serendipitous, weird vibes. Like, she just, like, happened to come into the bar I was working, and like,
You'll always associate Lindsey Buckingham with that memory.
Apparently, because I've not thought about that. I think the reason I haven't thought about that memory is because, like, at that age, I was very, like, I just couldn't get it up, basically. So nothing even good happened. I made a fool of myself. But I think that's, like, it's weird. It really took me back to that place, which I've obviously wanted to forget.
So a bit of trauma associated with the album.
A little bit with Secondhand News and Never Going Back Again. So if you're listening,
I have more trauma associated with Tusk.
Tusk.
Which we should do on another episode. But yeah, Tusk.
Better album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No question for me.
Yeah. But is that
also
like,
more chaotic? And
is that us being,
well,
sort of like,
it's artier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. It's like me singing, like, Off the Wall more than Thriller, I guess. Like,
yeah.
But, well, no, because Off the Wall has some, like, banging hits. But, the craziest thing about Rumours? Today, like, I found something online because I was like...
You basically, you read the Wikipedia.
Yeah, I did. But I did. I did read the Wikipedia page. It wasn't really anything I didn't know, which was funny, but... the first sentence blew me away. Rumours, the 11th studio album by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's just insane to think about.
Yeah.
Like, gives hope for everyone.
They've, like, their greatest hits came out the other year, and it was called, like, 50 and Still Counting or something. It's like they've been a band for, like, 50 fucking years. It's disgusting.
Oh, man. Apparently, Lindsey Buckingham, this is Coke energy, or like that. He was like, it was like Buckingham took over the sessions and determined to make a pop record, whereas Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, they were more used to the improvised blues strategy.
It's a strategy
of making albums. Yeah. Buckingham decided to take over the sessions.
It's amazing that they kept the name.
Thank God he did.
Fuck yeah. It's amazing they kept the name. That they're a band name after, like, the rhythm
it's a good
section.
Name. Yeah, but it's a good name. Rolls off the tongue.
I suppose it does, but all names do once you've heard them enough, which is why we could just choose anything for this podcast.
It was their band. Like, from what I hear, like, they were kind of at the helm of, like, business decisions, like, all that kind of stuff. So, I guess because they didn't really do much else.
No, it's funny because that exercise, it's an exercise in restraint, that record. Always, if you, like, listen to it and if you're, like, a player, that's what you think. Uh-huh. But I wonder if they were just lazy and coked up and couldn't really be fucking bothered doing too much.
I think they were all into how it sounded, like because they fired their producer from the self-titled record and wanted... I'm not just quoting the Wikipedia
you
page.
You are, I know that's exactly what I did. You're just quoting like that podcast you listened to one time.
Cool Stories in Music?
Yeah, you should talk about that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite podcasts. And I say that because I've only ever listened to 2 podcasts in my life, which is funny because we're doing one now. One was that one, about the murder mystery. What was it?
Serial or something.
The first one of that. And the other one was called Cool Stories in Music. It was free on my, like, Apple Podcasts. And it was a guy and his wife who would tell cool stories in music. And it would be, like, about an album or a band. It's basically this. But, and then after we were on tour, the band, and we were listening to it for, like, a few weeks. And then after a while, it kind of seemed like he was just reading information. And then we listened to a new episode and went on the Wikipedia page of what he was talking about. And he was just... reading verbatim, like word for word. But so I'm not exactly doing that. But what I heard is that they fired their producer from the first self-titled record because he was all about the guitars leading being way up front and vocals and the drums and bass being kind of in the background. And Fleetwood and McVie wanted a more punchy like drum and bass, because if you listen to the drums and bass on that record and on Tusk, it's like preposterous the way it's mixed.
They're
like
really loud.
The drums are crazy, like louder than the vocal by
I know,
like 5 or 10 dB, and they're just like
the vocals are just really thin on the whole thing.
Yeah, and the drums are full and dry, and like or gated or something. I don't know. They're just like
it's a rhythm and blues record.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to do.
It's a rhythm and blues record.
So, but obviously, and I don't think it is, it's an exercise in restraint maybe for drums and bass, but Buckingham Shirley's wanking all over it.
I mean, just ADD. Though,
and the organs and keyboards are wanking all over it too, like, which is sick. Yeah. Christine McVie's my favorite member.
Well, yeah, but the most coked up decision on that record is to let her put Songbird and Oh Daddy on it.
I don't like Oh Daddy, but I love Songbird. Come on. It's beautiful.
I don't know. I'm all about the hits on that record.
Well, of course, but it's an album. It has, I'll tell you, man, I put it on this morning. I was doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Songbird came on. It got me a little.
It got you a little?
It's beautiful
Did
song.
you sit down? Have to sit down?
I felt emotional.
Touched.
I did. It's a beautiful song.
It's hard with her because her voice is so matronly, and like there's so many contradictions in the whole design of that band. Like all the like other great bands like Led Zeppelin, where it's like you can't pick your favorite members or like input, and like the sum of their parts. Like they're equal to that. Like it's just like this greater thing. Even though they're all extremely talented, but like I would never listen to like Chicken Shack, like Christine McVie, like just like doing her blues records. But as soon as she's in, because her voice annoys me, but I love it in Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, I like her voice. I don't know,
but it's like not sexy, and she's singing sexy songs, and it made me think about how like she dated, like when she dated Dennis Wilson, like. That she must have been.
What's not sexy?
She's just not got a sexy voice.
I guess
Christine
so,
McVie.
but like
she sounds matronly. She sounds
You Make
motherly.
Love and Fun is awesome.
It's a great
sexy
song, but
tune.
it's not sexy. The song might be a bit, but her voice isn't. She sounds really white and like kind of. Motherly and posh. She sounds posh or something. I don't know what it is. She sounds posh.
Maybe this is like an English thing
Sweet,
that you're like,
wonderful you. Like her diction is very.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe like
Stevie Nicks is feral, visceral.
I think maybe this is like Stevie Nicks is a little more exotic to you. Is Christine McVie from Manchester?
No, I think she's from the South. I don't know where she's from. I love it that she dated Dennis Wilson. Like that means that she was up to no good. Like drinking like 2 liters of like gin and juice. And
they're all up to no good.
Oh, I know.
But
do you see that video
know.
of me?
Songbird, I love that they went and like recorded it in like an empty auditorium. It's like the excess, like
so much money.
Took a 12-foot Steinway,
We're gonna
put it in
need
the
that.
middle of the. The engineer insisted on that ambiance for the track. And hey, man, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you know about how Lindsey Buckingham for Tusk? We got to do. Should I save it?
No,
man, because Tusk that one. I mean, is crazy what the shit that went on. It's like they went past and into the dark side and somehow made an album, but nobody remembers it and no one was around and they don't know how it got made and somebody cobbled it together and then it's just like perfect.
It's
like,
mainly him in it.
It's like Smile or something.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's mainly him.
I don't know.
He's thanked in the credits.
He was off the.
Yeah.
Apparently, he would fuck off and go to punk shows in LA every night instead of going to this. I heard Christine held it together. Tusk.
Really?
Yeah.
You got an insider on that?
I did not read the Wikipedia page on this. I've heard
an inside. You have an insider.
I have an inside down at the record plant.
Yeah.
No, but because she has the kind of most coherent hits on it. Think About Me
on that record
and Over and Over. They're kind of like on Tusk, like where Lindsay's are like weird.
Well, his next record I think was called I'm Insane. I think is his next solo record. After that.
But Tusk, the best part, he wrote a bunch of the songs like in his bathroom, like at his mansion for Tusk. And for some reason I don't know why he was in his bathroom so much, but he loved the acoustics in his bathroom. So he got a replica of his bathroom built in the studio, down to like the wood and everything, to record all the acoustics for Tuscan.
I think it's funny because even Rumours, like listening to it, even just the way we interpret music now, like considering it's the best-selling album of all time, like Greatest Hits, Eagles Greatest Hits, or Thriller or something?
Garth Brooks live and
Shania Twain. Anything by Mutt Lange.
Yeah, I guess.
But
it is Eagles' Greatest Hits is like number 2 or something.
I think Rumours is like top 5.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, what would be above it?
Thriller, Eagles' Greatest Hits, probably like Abbey Road.
No.
You think Rumours has sold more copies than Abbey Road?
I do.
Huh.
Look it up. Because the late 70s is premium time.
I know Hotel California is in the top 5. They have 2.
It's fucking disgusting.
It's so disgusting.
Sleazy.
That's Hollywood Republicans are just buying that. They're going to the store and just buying multiple copies of Eagles Hotel
Just
California.
to keep it up
just
there.
to keep it in the top 5.
Yeah.
They're like, we got you.
They're definitely Republicans.
Oh, yeah, every one of them.
All of them.
Maybe not Joe Walsh.
Not Randy Meisner. They booted him out for not being.
He's
Walsh too much of a hard.
Joe Walsh doesn't know what the hell's going on, I don't think.
He's one of those guys who, like, he's just never even noticed politics. He's just
it's like what the hell's the guy's name? Glenn Fry is like just takes him down to the polling booth and like picks up his dead hand and like signs it on the George Bush.
Yeah. Oh.
Poor Joe Walsh. I mean.
But no, I was gonna say with Rumours, I was listening to Gold Dust Woman as I was just coming in.
Don't care for it.
Yeah, well, I was actually feeling it. It's a good example. That's like Stevie doing her witchy thing, which she just like.
Well, Rhiannon is her doing her witchy thing.
That would be the first. I mean, Crystal would be her doing it on the Bucks Nicks. So what's the first one? Something off the Bucks Nicks record.
Yeah.
Which is Keltner is on that.
Yeah.
You can tell. I mean,
LA. Straight up LA.
Straight up LA. Keltner just. You know that story about Keltner on Damn the Torpedoes?
No.
It's good. So like they're Petty and the boys doing Damn the Torpedoes, and they're like take 162 of Refugee. You know, it's like they're playing it and they just can't nail it. And like Keltner's doing a session, next door, Studio B. And he comes into the room when they're recording Refugee, and they're like, because they did everything off the floor on that record.
Yeah.
Like absolutely
Most
everything.
records.
Yeah. No, but like
Rumours.
even vocals, no overdubs. They were doing everything off the floor. They had like a percussion guy in there. They were doing everything. Apparently, Keltner came in when they're doing Damn the Torpedoes Refugee, and they really struggled to record this one. And he was listening to it, and they saw him in the control room, and he had an egg shaker. He's just shaking along, and they can't really see what he's doing. And then they come in to listen to what they've done, and he plays the egg shaker on top, and that was the magic it needed. All it needed was this like counter rhythm that Keltner provided.
Give me a break.
No, it's true. I read it.
I love Keltner.
So
Harry Nilsson used to call him Lightning, and he used to call Ringo Thunder. And when they got together to play on the same song, it was Thunder and Lightning.
That's good.
Which they did on many songs.
Really?
Like at the same time. And it's pretty rad. Just monster fills.
Yeah. So I was like, Gold Dust Woman. And there's a bit of a jam at the end of it. They're kind of like, it's like a Tuskian style, like just an atmospheric kind of meandering.
Yeah.
We're going to, let's all sit, close our eyes, and just think about like what a storm feels like with the feminine energy, kind of coming in. It's just like kind of atmospheric. There's a few guitars, very minimal drums. Kind of like an Albatross vibe, actually. With you can also almost imagine Peter Green just getting involved, which is beautiful to think about. Really, God rest his soul, his crazy soul. But I was listening to it and really enjoying it, and then I sort of actually kind of took my brain out of the experience of listening to it for a minute and was listening to the individual parts, like what the guitar actually sounded like. It's kind of shitty and de-eyed.
Yeah.
Which is like almost his signature guitar. Weirdly, his signature acoustic sound is like a badly de-eyed live acoustic.
Yeah.
And
well, or just like a bathroom recording.
yeah, like
they're always like
mostly in the
abnormal.
bathroom. Yeah.
His acoustic sounds. I'll give him that.
And it just made me think that like I probably in a different universe have watched like older people doing an open mic jam at like Derby's pub that sounded similar to Goldust Woman, the ending. Yet, like in this parallel universe that we live in, that's on the biggest selling record of all time. Whereas watching like 4 or 5 people with like congas and like 2 acoustics de-eyed, like jamming along with some like, you know, woman with like frenetic energy, just kind of like sort of bluesy wailing.
Well, it's the school of Nicks, isn't it? I mean, that's like you're saying. Like
I guess so. The school of Nicks, school of hard Nicks.
Goldust Woman apparently about living in Los Angeles and just how it's like a goddamn impossible way of life.
Yeah,
Just
Robbie
back
Robertson
off.
style.
Yeah, back off. But like the last 2 songs, I think are the worst on the record, which is weird. Well, no, I know Songbird. Yeah, isn't it Oh Daddy and Goldust Woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the one that sounds really like the Bucks Nicks record.
Yeah, it sounds like Buddy Holly or something.
That's true.
Yeah. It's kind of like just got like an old time rock and roll 12-string feel. It's cool.
Yeah, it's
good.
But yeah, like the sequencing. It's like when we were talking about Thriller. The sequencing of the record. It's right here. It's really interesting.
I gotta get some WD-40 on that chair.
Yeah, you probably do.
Yeah, Dreams though. Okay,
she
it's
looks
funny.
so good. Stevie Nicks looks so good on the back of this.
I mean, that's another thing worth mentioning is that she's might be the top rock and roll babe. I don't know. She's
on this. They all look amazing. McVie's fucking get up
and
is
her
incredible.
songs on the like. I think this is Stevie's record, kind of like. Well, Dreams is the best song for sure.
What about Go Your Own Way?
See, I
Dreams is more iconic.
Go Your Own Way is like, I get it. It's a radio hit. You hear it everywhere you go. I get why it was like the first single and all that. But like, I don't want to hear it over and over. Dreams comes on, man. You can't turn it off. And you talk about minimal. Like, whenever I hear that, I'm blown away at what that song is. Because you always think there's this mysticism behind these great songs in history. Dreams is fucking drums and bass. And her vocal. And then his guitar comes in a little bit, and all the choruses is a harmony, and an acoustic comes in. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the whole song. It's really cool. But, 2-note bass line.
Yeah, well, the amount of times I've like, you know, shadow danced the bass to that song just for that one little fill he does. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you would never sequence a record like this. Secondhand News first. Imagine just listening to it. Imagine, honestly, like first time. So you've never heard anything. It's 1977. We just wish we could experience music like this. You'd have your friends over. You'd probably like, I've got the new Fleetwood Mac record. Yeah. Like the much anticipated. Like it's taken them like
it's
they just canceled their sold out world tour to finish it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you put it on.
You got your friends over. You got a couple bottles of Cuervo.
100%.
A big pile of blow.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, it's the only way to do it. And it's second. It's kind of interesting. So like Secondhand News to open it. You know, it's a good song. But it's like it's just a good song. Mm-hmm. Straight into Dreams. Then Never Going Back Again. It's kind of a weird... You'd never put that as track 3 now.
No, you do Go Your Own Way.
You'd go straight in. Yeah, you would. And then they go... And this is great. Like, this is... It's like, Don't Stop. Go Your Own Way.
See, and I always thought of those two together, though. That's
it's
why.
True.
They are the same kind of song.
They're kind of the hinge
yeah.
on the record. Or maybe the hinge is the chain.
Does John McVie sing on Don't Stop?
No, it's...
Is it Lindsey Buckingham?
Yeah.
With Christine. Because they each take a verse.
No, it's the two of them.
Because weirdly, I never thought it sounded like him, like Lindsay. I don't know. I guess it is.
Yeah, it is.
For some reason, I used to think it was like John never sang, though, right?
I don't think so. No. I don't think he did much. He's got the best gig.
Yeah.
Talk about paying your dues.
Yeah.
You know? Like, to get there and just be like... It must have felt so good. Just sitting back there. Barely doing anything. And just... Yeah, 2 notes. Let everyone else take care of business. I want to do... That's like a goal of mine.
He co-wrote The Chain.
Yeah.
Because they all did.
Yeah. It's a good one.
That one's... Start a side 2.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Boom. Here we go. Just imagine listening to it. Like this, it's deep. It's a deep record. Yeah, that's my new goal, actually, now thinking about this. To do... Moving forward with Yukon, to do as minimal... Like as the least footprint possible. Like live. It must have been really fun just to be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'll let everyone else is so talented, I'll just let everyone take care of it. Like,
you mean personally?
Personally, yeah.
You don't want to have a bunch of...
No, I'm trying to do as little as possible, actually. I'm going to try and actually just professionally in general,
Well, I know what you mean. It's like before the pandemic hit, I was all jazzed on, like, having, like, a huge 8-piece band and, like, doing something crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was, you think about having all this, like, bravado and things on stage. And now I'm just like, yeah, it would just be great to just have, like, a 3-piece band.
Be amazing.
Or something. Like, 1 amp. And go around, be able to play songs like that, or 4-piece band, and just, like...
They were entirely self-sufficient. There was no need for anything based on the way the songs were put together. Mm-hmm. You know, do as a 5-piece. They got 3 singers. Mick and John will sing if you need them to.
Yeah.
The songs are pre-built that you could do as much fucking coke as you wanted and play them still.
Yeah.
Because no, you can just get the... Yeah, it's fine. We're 40 minutes in. We can drink a beer now. I just said professionally and creatively, I'm trying to do as just the bare minimum.
Professionally, creatively, and psychotically.
I'm going to sneeze.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the bare minimum here, which is why it's acceptable.
You keep sneezing like that, we're going to wind up like the New England Patriots, this podcast.
Talk about Republicans. Do you think that's why it happened? Because they're the Republican team?
They probably like just decided not to wear masks like in the locker room out of solidarity with Trump.
What was that scrap the other day in the football?
Scrap?
We need Mike. See, this is what.
Well,
you
no,
need.
I'm.
There was a
deep into
fight on the pitch between someone and who he hit someone because they'd abandoned his sister when they were pregnant and stuff.
Oh, I missed this. Yeah, we need Mike for this.
Yeah.
Which I think we'll have Mike. I know if there's anyone listening right now, you're missing Mike. We're gonna have him on as our first guest, hopefully, but we haven't convinced him of that,
or even told him. Really, to be honest,
don't know. He's probably at the Princeton right now,
with no mask on, talking about the pandemic.
I can assure that. I can assure you that.
Talking about, he's probably crying watching Trump on TV, getting out of his armored vehicle. Just so excited to see him back in action.
Well, Mike, he believes that the coronavirus is a real thing. I just think, personally, he doesn't want it to affect his
drinking
trip to the bar and his drinking habits. But it's pretty easy to keep your distance at the Princeton.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's always fucking empty in there. So, a little Keno card. Server comes over. It's a simple life.
Yeah.
I love that lifestyle before the pandemic. I miss bars.
Yeah, I mean, I still go to the Marquee all the time.
Yeah, I don't really do it. But.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting me in your house.
Yeah, well.
See how this goes.
Why do you think I'm sitting by the screen door here?
Yeah.
We're bubbling up. I'm auditioning you to be part of my bubble.
How does it work, that?
Well, I understood that you were pretty safe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I'm taking it seriously.
Yeah, the way I see it is we're going to be doing this podcast. We just, neither of us kind of mess around on each other, so to speak. And then we can be in a bubble with our lady friends. And
beautiful young brides. You know that the working title of Rumours was Yesterday's Gone.
Thank God they changed that.
I kind of like it. I was thinking we could call the podcast Yesterday's Gone.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds like if the Beatles had continued and made an album.
It's like an ELO record.
Yeah, if the Beatles had made an album in 77 when they were all coked out, they would have called it Yesterday's Gone and thought it was genius. They'd be like, remember, Paul, remember when you did Yesterday? Remember this Yesterday's Gone?
I was thinking about what John Lennon, because...
You know he'd be 80 this year?
Yeah.
That's
but what would
wild.
he have thought of Rumours? Because they're different era. Like, he was Pussycats, right? That's the same kind of zone.
Much later than Pussycats, but
What's-
no.
when's
77 is he didn't make a record for 4 years, so that was like in his like kind of at the time when Yoko was hypnotizing him every night, and then
Right.
he wasn't allowed to make music.
He was just Freudian.
I read this from
Jungian.
May Pang's book. So apparently she had him hypnotized, and then he was about to make a record, and then he didn't for 4 years, and then he made Double Fantasy and got shot.
Yeah.
So no, there was nothing then. But I bet he was listening to it, and it's hard to know. I think he either thought it was really great or that it sucked or something. It's really hard to tell.
Because it's a different...
I don't think he probably would have even been on his radar much.
It's so hard to know, isn't it, whether these people were all... Like, we put them all in the same bar, basically, drinking. You know, like, you think...
John didn't
they
go
might
back to L.A., though.
They might never have
after
met. They might never have met. Like, Lindsey Buckingham and John Lennon may never have met.
I
Like,
doubt
Tolstoy and Dostoevsky never met. You know?
It's given Lindsey Buckingham quite a bit of credit.
I don't
there.
know, man. If I was to choose a guy, like, you know, to be from that era, he's primo. Like, his vibe, his production, his hair.
Yeah, he's got good hair.
His, like, he's a real, like, you know, he's like a Kevin Parker, you know, he's like our modern day version. Like, he's like kind of a nerdy guy. Imagine Lindsey Buckingham just constantly making music, couldn't do anything else. Staying at home, working, ostracizing all his relationships, putting music first. I remember reading like...
Yeah, but take your pick for pretty much everybody
But
did
like,
that.
I kind of feel like he's like a bedroom pop artist. You know, I imagine
Right.
him like, that's all he could do. I remember reading that Stevie
I'm
Nicks
just saying-
said... I remember reading that Stevie Nicks said, like, when they first met, she would go to work so he could continue making music because he was that good. Like, you know, and that was like, that's the best way that I could like serve our future was for me to go and work in a diner.
And this is your dream?
I just think that like he has that energy of like, he doesn't have, I don't think he has like rock star energy. I think he has like nerd production kind of spectrum vibes.
Yeah.
Because his music's really weird. Like he made really weird decisions. Like outside of Fleetwood Mac.
It's like a Todd Rundgren thing 100%, or something.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, exactly. I kind of, but like a more accomplished Rundgren. I wonder what
And kind of
Rundgren
like
thought of
less
him.
weird. Like,
except it gets really weird.
Yeah, but I think Rundgren, it keeps getting weird too.
The thing about Lindsey Buckingham's weirdness is that it's like really consistent through his career. Like the flourishes. Well, you're like clicking and shit.
Well, I had a good idea.
What
I'm
is
going
it?
to tell you after.
Well, tell me it.
I was going to say that would be a good one to do is Something Anything by Todd
Sure,
Rundgren.
yeah. Or the
I have
Wizard
a lot
one.
To
What's
say
the
about
Wizard
that
one?
No. Something, it's got to be Something Anything.
Yeah, okay. Mark it down. It's not like there's a shortage of records. That can be number 326.
Yeah, I know.
You know? No, I mean, I think his weirdness, his like artistic nuances are really consistent. Like he always has these like weird piratey guitars, kind of like pagan pirate.
Well, he dresses
guitars.
like a pirate too.
A little bit of a pirate vibe. He
Well, not
obviously-
like Mick Fleetwood does, but
no,
like,
Mick Fleetwood fully dresses like a pirate.
Yeah, he does.
He identifies as a pirate.
Band's got a pirate vibe. Even
It
Stevie
does.
Nicks, like all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, has a pirate
It
feel.
has a
She's
pi-
like,
They do have-
she's-
yeah. It's.
Like-
I don't know if people talk about this
No,
enough.
never.
but
It's never been
They're
said.
gonna have to.
I
Someone's
know
gonna
it's
have to
never
have
been
a
said.
serious conversation about it at
Yeah.
some point because we're not trying to rewrite history here, but like they do have a bit of a kind of like ahoy there,
Even
matey.
the name, Fleetwood Mac.
Exactly. It sounds like
Yeah.
a guy with a peg leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like definitely
Lindsey Buckingham.
Sure, yeah. But they do. Maybe they all met based. Maybe that's what we don't know. Like
But that's what they talked about, like pirate music.
Yeah.
Which is a genre in the early 2000s.
Really?
Which is, pirate rock. You know, like the Decemberists, even like Mumford and Son. But like not...
pirate folk.
Pirate,
kind of.
yeah. You know, that they would all like, with the
They
big
were kind
anthemic...
of like Neutral Milk Hotel.
Yes.
They kind of started it, actually.
Yeah, they're in there.
They would be the like... I wonder how he felt
Well,
about
Fleetwood Mac started it.
pirate
but,
rock, yeah.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac started it. But, yeah, you know...
Can you... It's like how... like
Wolf Parade?
100% pirate rock.
Yeah.
Like, definitely. Yeah.
Never got into it, but it was huge.
So, like, maybe Modest Mouse.
Yes, 100%.
Pirate genre.
It's there. Google it. It's there. Pirate,
it's there.
Pirate rock.
Yeah.
But nobody mentions Fleetwood Mac as the origin.
Kind of like how Neil Young's the godfather of grunge.
Exactly.
Lindsey Buckingham is
exactly the same thing.
Is the godfather of
and Mick Fleetwood knew this all along. That's why he didn't change the name. That's why he kept dressing like a pirate throughout the whole career.
Even his what's the dangly balls bit?
Yeah, that's like a
classic
pirate thing.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know, the Long John. Do you know
Long
Long
John
John Baldry?
Baldry.
Is he?
He's a pirate guy.
Wouldn't it be
They
funny
were
if-
buddies.
They were.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be funny?
It's a thing, man. It's like an underground thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like an underground
Robert Wyatt,
scene.
kind of.
Interesting. Bob Welch.
Yeah.
Bob Welch kind of.
Yeah.
It's so funny,
Could
man.
get into that, yeah.
Yeah.
Long John Baldry for sure.
Maybe like you know what has a pirate energy is the Steve Harley and the Cockney Rebel maybe has a bit of one. Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Swamp Jump.
No. Like Ian Dury and the Blockheads?
No,
That's more like pub rock.
That's pub rock, yeah.
Yeah.
That does not pirate
It's
that
different.
rock.
There's a partial lineage there, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah, but that's maybe because he actually was lame. He was a gimp, right? He had like a bad leg. He was gimpy.
Robert Wyatt?
No, Ian Dury. So maybe you're just confusing physically.
Oh, he had a peg leg.
He had like a polio leg.
okay.
So he kind of had an actual pirate physicality, kind of pirate physical.
Well, I feel like Robert Wyatt like wore an eye patch and stuff too, and he was like
Interesting. Yeah, he had some kind of degenerative illness, I think. Maybe
no.
scurvy?
Don't you know what happened with him?
No.
Oh, I shouldn't laugh. So he used to party with Keith Moon.
Yeah.
And drink a lot.
Another guy who has kind of a pirate energy.
Yeah, he does. The way he dresses frilly shirts.
Certainly.
So he told this story on a talk show. He was like, so one night I was Keith Moon used to say, well, we'll have a beer, we got to chase it with a whiskey. And then we have a whiskey, you got to chase it with a tequila. And then you have a tequila, you got to chase it with a rum. And so on and so on, whatever it was.
No, but Navy rum, presumably.
And then Robert Wyatt was like, and that was what we were drinking the night that I jumped out the window of his 4-story house and was paralyzed.
Right.
He's paralyzed. He just was getting hammered with Keith Moon and jumped out the window. That's the story. It's really dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, rum.
Navy rum.
Who liked rum? That's the
Well, it's a
telltale
pirate
sign.
drink.
Yeah, no, but which
that's
rock stars?
how you would know.
It's how you find out. Drink of choice.
It's kind of like a secret handshake.
It is. It's a kind of an Illuminati thing.
I've always thought that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess it's as
I'd have
simple
to
as
break
that.
down who the other pirate bands are of that era and artists, but I think like even like David Bowie like
Had a pirate phase.
he was aware of it.
Adamant.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
He kind of... I wonder if
I think
Adamant...
he wanted to be in, but they didn't let him. He's like, "Look, guys, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear all the clothes. I'm going to do everything." And they're like, "It's a little too on the nose."
But also not
buddy.
just... But more of... He was more of a dandy highwayman than a pirate. Which
Wasn't
is kind
he
of...
a full-on pirate?
No,
though?
dandy highwayman's more of a land pirate. Like, he's like a highway... they perform like pirate-style heists, but, on the land... More of a dandy highwayman.
I see.
But it's similar. It's just it's different. Some people, it's just the terrain's different.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Other than that, it's similar. Yeah. So
What was his band called? Adamant?
Well, he was just Adamant.
I thought his band was called like the Pirates or something. Like
Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp.
Hollywood Vampires, full circle.
Full circle. It's funny.
I mean, he knows what's going on with all that.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
does. Yeah. The
I mean,
Pirates
Keith Richards
is in the
he
Pirates.
plays Keith Richards' total pirate vibe.
100%.
Yeah.
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 He plays a pirate. No, Johnny Depp is playing Keith Richards.
No, he's in one of them.
But he's also like being. There's no one who's more of a pirate than Keith Richards.
No.
He's the pirate.
Yeah, he's got to be the.
He's the main one.
Yeah.
He's the like oldest. No, I mean like I wonder like. He's a fucking Keith Richards is a fucking pirate.
He is.
He is a pirate though. He's the guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And that's another reason why Johnny Depp played him. Another nod to the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Another like it's like
No, I know.
the same way. It's the wrong way round. It's like circumventing the kind of classic rock universe.
Yeah.
He's a nod to the pirate vibe, but also the drinking clubs.
Of course, and Joe Perry like definitely trying to follow in those footsteps. You know what I mean? And then getting in the vampires with Johnny Depp. Like
True.
trying to be the Keith of that group.
Be like Keith 10 years. Yeah, be the Keith of the group.
Yeah, exactly. And Johnny's like, no, I'm the Keith kind of thing. And that's why that whole band's a big mess.
That everyone's trying to be Keith Richards in that band.
Yeah.
Every single person in that band is
ZZ
channeled.
Top kind of. No, they're more. No, not
What
really.
about? I was thinking like what it must have been like because for the sort of Dandy Highwayman pirate. Obviously, that its evidence is clear now that was like a big community. There's like a big schism within rock in the 70s was whether we're going to be and maybe this is why Fleetwood Mac are so good. We're going to follow the kind of family tree of the pirate family tree, or the runestone kind of like pagan tradition of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, well, it's one or the other.
And they synthesize those with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, who kind of do both.
Yeah,
and they're like the kind of fire and ice.
They're one or the other. Like
they are both.
Lindsey's a pirate, and she's sort of the pagan side.
Yeah, so it's like she's the song remains the same.
Yeah,
and he's Satanic Majesty's Request.
Yeah, I mean,
if you think about it like that.
You could basically break every band in rock and roll history down into one of those two categories.
Pirate or pagan.
Yeah.
Okay. The Doors.
Oh, pirate, for sure.
Really piratey.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar.
Exactly.
Oh, don't ask why. Yeah, they are. So, Break On Through. The end is very, very... Did they have any songs about, like, a wayfaring captain or something?
What's the one...
There's a song by H.P. Lovecraft called Wayfaring.
Everyone's got that kind of
a pirate swing.
Love me 2 times.
Yeah.
Gone.
That kind of got, like, a sea shanty vibe.
Every song.
Every song, actually.
Yeah.
I can't think of a song by them that doesn't have a sea shanty thing.
No, they all do.
Until they kind of get into fully
He's like
into...
a pirate poet. Jim Morrison. That's how he thought of himself.
He did, yeah. Yeah. Maybe until he got into psychedelics. Like, that would be like a shift to some extent.
I know it's easy to think that those who dabble in psychedelia were pagan over pirate. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
But Morrison, The Doors, they never really, it wasn't believable.
No.
Like, clearly the Beatles are pagan, you know? Like,
True.
And you know, Jimi Hendrix.
I mean, he wore an eye patch, kind of. He had a kind of pirate vibe. He like a lot of like scarves.
Yeah,
I think are kind of scarves and like because the Beatles didn't wear scarves that much.
No, not much.
And if they did, it was more of a Maharishi vibe.
That's what I mean.
It was more of a mystical.
Yeah,
mysticism.
it's mystical, kind of cultish feel. The whole thing.
Yeah, like a kind of Shinto vibe, even just something that is more rooted in historical mysticism rather than marine style
expanding
heists.
Your mind
rather than your bounty.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that maybe is the thing. So Christine McVie on the cover. Have you ever seen anyone look more like a pirate? She's wearing almost a kind of like a hijab on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like an olive oil look, like
Popeye.
from Popeye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of a feel.
I've never seen a band look more like wayfaring strangers.
No, exactly.
Than this.
Yeah.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Except for Stevie.
Well, I mean, look at the front
Except
cover,
for Stevie.
dude.
Except, yeah.
The front cover is as if it's like a photograph from the 16th century of two pirates.
A pirate
and a
witch
but a
and a
siren
pagan
and a siren.
Yeah, it's a pirate and a siren, which is interesting because
ethos of that.
I mean, that's really the consistent message through their career is that they were this hidden kind of like string throughout it. As I was saying, like they're consistent in their eccentricities.
This is really blowing my mind. Like I think this might have to be a double one. Continue because I'm really seeing now all the hidden meanings in all their songs.
Yeah,
the more I think about it, Storms, exactly. Yeah,
written by the pagan too.
Yeah,
so it's like she's writing.
Never break the the chain. It's got that real
plank,
shanty
kind of a plank. It's like it's an anchor.
Never break the chain. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, but the chain probably is an anchor.
Yeah.
They're talking about. I'd imagine. I mean, it only makes sense. We're gonna have to have a frank conversation about it at some point.
Whether the chain is referring to an anchor.
Yeah. Songbird.
Exactly. Yeah. Seabird.
Yeah.
Albatross.
Yeah. Albatross.
That's the sailor's bird. That's the sailor's bird.
I heard, actually, that Peter Green left the band because he was going to out them as a pirate gang. And instead, they gave him psychedelic drugs. And he grew out his fingernails, sold all his guitars, started being like kind of an eco-terrorist, and worked like he lived in a tree near my house when I grew up, and then some tunnels underground, stopping a second runway at the airport. So he kind of traded in psychedelia. He ended up trading in his pirate energy for more of a kind of pagan man of the land
kind of
feel.
And I've also heard that he kind of like got himself together recently and was again about to expose
the pirates,
the pirate mythology and the kind of hidden history of this. And let's just say there may be more to his death
than meets the eye.
Aye,
Captain. Yeah. Well, I mean, what time is it? Yeah, I got about 3 more minutes here, and then we can close it up.
That's a lot for our fans to digest, because I feel like, we started this podcast off with just some kind of raw facts that everybody knows about, and about these bands and about this album, and we've kind of exposed something here, so.
Yeah. I got a question for you, kind of a segue.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about this earlier. What do you think Steely Dan meant by the words pretzel logic?
I feel like I've read the Wikipedia page on this one too.
Yeah?
But I'm not so. I don't know.
You know what I was thinking about? Maybe.
I'm sure you have a theory, James.
Well,
why don't you tell me?
My theory is just because I've realized that I've thought this the whole time. I don't know if this is what it's about, but I kind of imagine, because are they both Jewish, or is it just Donald Fagen? They kind of have a Jewish New York feel about them, right? Like that's like the kind of upper West Side, kind of vibe. Just kind of imagine them like in a. I honestly like, this is the image that I guess my mind has come up with its own conclusion. Kind of Kakule problem style. Like subconsciously, I've just always known this, and I only thought about it for the first time. Just them kind of sat in a coffee shop, like Fagen and Becker, just kind of sat in a coffee shop, espresso, maybe an Americano. Little pretzel, and the pretzel logic is just them kind of talking it out, just kind of there like coffee in the morning.
What kind of coffee shop that serves a pretzel?
Well, this one that they went to.
There's holes in this theory.
Yeah, well, what else could
I
it be?
think it was like, because on the cover is the guy selling pretzels on the street in New York.
Yeah.
So I think it was like what you're saying, but like maybe like in a park they grabbed
Central
a couple
Park.
Pretzels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a cold day.
Yeah.
And they're just talking about kind of jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretzel logic, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Uh-huh.
Well,
so that's what I was saying, like when I was saying we should call the podcast Showbiz Kids or Bad Sneakers. We like both.
I like Bad Sneakers.
And you were like Showbiz Kids, but the word kids implies we're like an indie band or something. But I was like, no. because the meaning of that song is all about people whose parents were in showbiz who were like given everything like handed down, like Crosby types. You know what I mean? His parents were like movie producers. Showbiz kids making movies of themselves. You know, they don't give a fuck about anybody else. You know,
it just sounds a little bit like it sounds a little bit like
well, I don't want to call it that. Don't worry.
No, but it sounds a little bit like we'd be like on like LCD Sound Systems label or something.
Yeah, I
like
think
the New York, like the New Pony Club or something. Like,
yeah,
like kind of on a indie dance party playlist. The Showbiz Kids.
Yeah, exactly.
On an indie,
It would
it would be with Justice.
Yeah, we should just call it pirate bands of the 1970s.
I mean, there's a lot of content there.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just narrow down the criteria.
Or Bad Sneakers.
I like Bad Sneakers.
Bad Sneakers is
Great song.
a good song.
Bad sneakers and a pina colada, my friend.
I think we can sign off on that.
All right.
Cheers.